Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Launceston Police are searching for a man behind a random knife attack in Kings Meadows this afternoon. For more now, we're joined by reporter Sean McComish, who's live at the scene. Sean, what condition is the victim in?
Well, good evening, Kim. A man is in a stable condition after suffering superficial knife wounds to his hands and face. Police say the altercation occurred just after 1 p.m. at a business on Hobart Road. They won't say which business it is. However, we did see officers leaving a gym this afternoon. Detectives now want to speak to a man in his late 40s who is a person of interest.
He's described as about 5'9", about 172, 173 centimetres tall. He has grey to white receding hair and a grey to white beard. He was last seen wearing a light green Everlast t-shirt, possibly with blood on it.
The offender visited the Launceston General Hospital after the attack but left before officers arrived. A weapon has also been recovered. Now, Kim, police are describing the incident as a random attack. They're warning the public not to approach the man but instead to contact them immediately. Kim?
Well, a growing number of local businesses are speaking out on the government's rollout of coronavirus grants, said to ease financial burdens. The Premier says he's reviewing the funding regime, but frustrated owners have warned missing out on the assistance is costing jobs.
11 weeks empty. This is how Richmond's Puddle Duck Vineyard sat at the height of the coronavirus crisis.
It was really sad. The ducks in particular missed everyone coming to feed them, and we obviously missed, being in hospitality. That is our life, people.
It's open now, but the owners are still feeling dejected after missing out on a business hardship grant worth $15,000. It would have been used to pay staff, but they were deemed unsuccessful with the pool of money exhausted before applications even closed.
I was kind of shocked, I think. I was really counting on that.
How could they equitably assess applicants on criteria and make a decision about who was worthy of that support when they'd already given some money out and hadn't even assessed all of the different businesses fairly?
Unfortunately, there will be some businesses that will miss out. It's a finite amount of money.
Across town, another Labor MP sharing another story. Here at a hairdresser, the problem not being able to access promised power bill support.
The energy waiver would be enough to bring one of our casual staff back another day a week.
You can't promise to be there and back business and then use fine print and use a technicality to avoid your obligation to support small business in Tasmania.
In response, the government slammed Labor for playing political games with hard-working businesses, saying its recovery packages totalled $1 billion. A review into those who missed out on the hardship grants is already underway. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
King Island's key freight vessel will be out of action for at least 3 more weeks as it undergoes significant repairs. The John Diegan is now dry docked in Sydney after sustaining serious damage last month. It's not expected to be up and running again until late July, with specialised parts being sourced globally. Tasport says further interim freight solutions are being implemented to ensure services to the island aren't jeopardised. Victorians may not be allowed into Tasmania when our borders reopen later this month. Victoria recorded 73 new coronavirus cases today, with Premier Daniel Andrews preparing to lock down 36 suburbs at midnight. Here, Premier Peter Gutwein admitted it's a concerning situation and will consider next week which states will be allowed to enter Tasmania without quarantining.
We have an indicative date of the 24th of July to open our borders, but we're obviously looking very closely at what's occurring in Victoria, and it would be fair to say that is very concerning, what's occurring there.
On the AFL, he confirmed he wouldn't allow Victorian teams into Tasmania before our borders are opened to the state. Tasmania's property market has defied national trends to continue recording growth through the pandemic period. The latest CoreLogic report revealing Hobart dwellings saw a subtle value rise of 1% in the past quarter, while homes in regional Tasmania increased by 2.5%.
There's still a lot of young people who are looking to buy their first home. Home buyers are being supported by record low mortgage rates. We have also seen a little bit of withdrawal of stock from the rental market.
Australia experienced a national drop of 0.8%. Guests are finally checking into Tasmania's newest luxury hotel tonight, nearly 3 months after the original planned opening date. The coronavirus outbreak has been yet another hurdle for the project to overcome, with special quarantine exemptions made for interstate workers to help complete the construction.
A much anticipated moment, years in the making. Hobart's new Crown Plaza officially opened to the public.
I'm elated. We're so excited that we have finally got to the opening date.
The hotel, tucked away in the CBD above Maya, offering 235 rooms, a restaurant and 2 outdoor bar settings. The project hit several delays, including the building site collapsing due to severe floods in 2016. COVID-19, the latest setback.
We were due to open on the 23rd of March, which obviously wasn't a good time to open because we got shut down 2 days earlier than that. So we're always going to make it happen. Doesn't matter what the obstacles are.
To meet the new deadline, specialist workers were rushed interstate.
It slowed the project down because obviously social distancing on the site had to occur and all of the other COVID-ready plan issues that you had to address. A lot of people weren't able to come back to sites.
The Tasmanian Hospitality Association says it contacted a government department to help grant exemptions.
So those workers needed to be here, otherwise this job wouldn't have been completed, and they had to go through all the safety precautions, etc., to be ticked off. So there was no rules broken or anything like that. It was just about, probably as much for me having contacts about to make sure they got to the right people quickly to get the authorisation.
Exemptions are requested, some are given, some are not. It's a matter for the State Controller.
But after the mad rush, local guests are checking in tonight, with the plaza's picturesque views aiming to attract tourists when the borders reopen.
They bring their own customers and their own audience, so that helps us to market the state more broadly. So as well as the work we do, we've now got a key partner that can talk to an audience of global customers under the Crown Plaza brand, so that's exciting for Tassie.
Well, even with everything that's happened, we still have well over $1.5 million worth of future bookings on the books, so it's very positive signs for the future.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmanian News.
Competition is heating up for the hotly contested upper house seat of Rosevears, with the election only a month away. Candidates have been going door to door, staking their claims to voters.
Campaigning along the election battleground, stretching along the West Tamar, are 6 candidates all vying for an upper house seat. The pitch surprisingly similar for a few.
Jobs, a strong economy, rebuilding small businesses, rebuilding family businesses.
Getting people back into work. We've had 22,000 Tasmanians lose their job because of the pandemic.
The August 1 election approaching after coronavirus delays. The Rosevears field is crowded with Labor, Liberal, the Greens, as well as 3 independents, all throwing their hats in the ring. At the forefront of the agenda, climate change.
We don't want the local environment to be ruined, basically.
Infrastructure.
The main issue that I keep hearing from the constituency is the safety of the West Tamar Highway.
And independence. Some firmly believe the position in the House of Review should be held by someone without party ties.
Whatever is in the best interests of Rosevears and Tasmania, it comes to the upper house and it's scrutinised independently.
I don't see any point in having a party person in the upper house who is just going to either rubber stamp what the government has done in the lower house or just oppose it.
With only 30 days before the ballots open, campaign mode is now in full flight. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmanian News.
Cancer Council Tasmania has unveiled an ambitious plan to raise $10 million in 10 years for a new future fund. It would help secure the organisation's financial future so it can continue to provide services for Tasmanians affected by cancer.
For Peter Enever, cancer turned his family members' lives upside down in December last year. His son James was diagnosed with a brain tumour and was treated with surgery and radiation. Needing support at a difficult time, they turned to Cancer Council Tasmania.
It affected everybody in the family.
slightly differently as well. So, and that was once again the benefit in being able to have somewhere we could call through.
The charity launching a future fund to continue this work. It would also support projects that improve treatment and care. The council setting itself an ambitious fundraising target, $10 million by 2030.
Let's say that we're going to be very positive about that, because we really do want to build this fund, and the earnings from that fund will help sustain the business.
The organisation relies on the community for 90% of its income, but the current coronavirus crisis is cutting deep.
Where staff are actually at 70% of their substantive wages, we've got no income coming in, fundraising has stopped.
Premier Peter Gutwin knows too well the impact of cancer, losing a father and a sister to the disease, while other members of his family have received treatment.
And I'm certain that they'll find a lot of support in the community for what will be a very good initiative to ensure that the Cancer Council places itself onto a strong financial footing going forward.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's only ice skating rink has reopened after a 3-month shutdown. The first customers were welcomed through the doors this afternoon. Ice hockey and skating training will also resume, a move welcomed by a local professional figure skater.
It's been quite sad. I haven't been able to see them. I'm here about 5 days a week usually, so not seeing them at all for 3 months has been quite difficult, but it's so lovely to see them now.
Sessions are limited to an hour and a half. The Tasmanian Awards Show judging the best wines of the year has been scaled back. Organisers of the Royal Hobart Wine Show have delayed the event until late October and are planning to cut it from 4 days to 2. With restricted judging panels, the number of categories has also been cut to 4. The Royal Agricultural Society says going ahead with a long-running event is a way of showing support to the wine industry. A Devonport man is claiming he can cure deadly diseases like coronavirus and cancer through his religious beliefs. Samuel Waterhouse says he uses his faith in God to heal people, but not everyone's convinced. Many are concerned he's preying on vulnerable people in the community.
Samuel Waterhouse has become the talk of the town. The 27-year-old quit his full-time job a month ago to embark on a new journey, preaching the Word of God.
It says in the Bible, the just live by faith, and so, it was a big, bold step to leave what I was doing.
Since opening this shopfront on the main street of Devonport just over a week ago, Samuel claims he's already healed 6 people from conditions like back pain.
Simply place my hands on top of your hands and I'll ask if that's okay, and say a prayer.
He's confident he could have cured locals with COVID during the Northwest outbreak using his faith.
I believe, however, if I did have this place open, if every individual came in here, right, and I was to pray for them by simply applying my faith, they wouldn't have to be praying or having any faith whatsoever. But it says lay hands on the sick and they will recover.
As part of the service, Samuel offers free food and supplies to those who need it.
I don't ask anyone for money, I never will. I believe I can go to God and He'll meet my needs by even telling people to meet my needs.
Politicians are shaking their heads.
Well, it sounds nutty, it's a lie, and it's very dangerous to mislead people like that.
Obviously a lot of people are praying for a cure. But there is no cure at the moment, and until there is a vaccine, people should ensure that they follow the rules.
It's left some in the community asking, is he praying for people or preying on them?
I think it's absolutely disgraceful, because what worries me mostly is these sort of people prey on vulnerable people, people that are desperate for some sort of help.
I believe in prayer, and if it's God's will for people to be healed, well, I believe they can be.
Is he going to start talking dollars, or,
That's his opinion, and that's his opinion, so he's like, he's allowed that, isn't he? It's the freedom of speech.
I love them. I love them all, and I don't judge anyone for their actions or what they say out of their mouth, because I personally believe that God's word stands above any other opinion.
Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmanian News.
One of Tasmania's main regional competitions will be back on the park this season, but exactly when is still unclear. Clubs from the Northwest Football League last night voted to begin the season sometime later this month. The league says teams will play for a premiership, with the grand final to be held in early October. The finer details of the restart will be discussed at a follow-up meeting next week. Plans for Tasmanian motocross riders to head to South Australia have been scrapped due to Victoria's virus outbreak. The next round of the Australian Off-Road Championship had been planned for Murray Bridge in a month's time. Tasmania is still hoping to host a round of the series in Wynyard later this year. In some better news, local motocross competitions are set to resume in Oatlands next month.
Good evening. Another day of persistent fog through the Derwent Valley, otherwise mostly fine around the state, but cloudy. Hobart and Devonport 14, Launceston 16 and Burnie 15 degrees. Flinders Island our top with 17 today. King Island, St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Strawn all 16. Smithton and Grove 15, Lowhead 14 and Ouse and Bushy Park under that fog just 6 degrees. A little low-level cloud over the north and central parts of the state, cloud ahead of a cold front pushing into the west. Now that cloud also over the Bight, extending over the Southern Ocean. An onshore flow has the cloud over coastal South and Western Australia, bringing a few showers there, a little more over the eastern seaboard. Tomorrow the cold front extends from eastern Victoria to the Tasman Sea. 2 large highs dominate the mainland, split by troughs. Winds north-northwesterly at 20 to 30 knots, shifting west-northwesterly in the morning. Swells at 5 metres in western waters, and we have a strong wind warning for all Tasmanian coastal waters. Thursday for Hobart, 13, a morning shower. Showers easing from Cygnet, 13 the top, 13 also for New Norfolk. Launceston, a high of 13 as well with a morning shower. Devonport showers clearing, 13, a top of 12 for Campbelltown. Burnie, showers easing, 13 the maximum, 12 for Strawn, a windy day in the west, and Smithton showers easing with the winds easing later in the day. 14 the high for St Helens along with Swansea with morning showers, same for Fingal but 13 degrees. On to Friday now, a cold day, and we'll also see a bit of cloud over the north and northeast, a few showers in the south and southwest of the state. Moving on to Saturday, mainly cloudy but showers over the west, south and through Bass Strait, and into Sunday we go, and we find that things fine up a little bit, but still over the central and west we'll have a few showers. Mostly sunny in Perth tomorrow, showers for Adelaide, wet weather for Melbourne, a windy but mostly sunny day for Sydney, partly cloudy and 24 in Brisbane. Partly cloudy and 11 in Hobart at the moment. Partly cloudy in Launceston. It's 12 and 12 right now in Devonport. Now, can we welcome back into our newsroom Tom Johnson, who's been away for about a week. Spent a bit of that in Bothwell, so I now have to apologise to the residents of Bothwell for his behaviour. I've tried to train him on the way I would act, but it's not working at the moment.
Tom is a beautiful young man, and unlike you, Murph, he's learnt from someone else. That's your news for now. Be back later with updates. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. See you tomorrow. Good night.